But I had to do that with a bucket in front of me. Yeah. And so I coined the phrase the Alabama double exit.
Okay. What caused it?
Norovirus.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I was out of commission.
Tried to kill you.
Well, I'm hoping I didn't give it to them, man. Yeah. God, it is horrible. Or at least what I had.
Yeah. That sounds...
I feel great today. This is the best day that I've had since 10 o'clock p.m.
You got Tuesday. It all out, feeling nice and lean.
Wow. Just needed a viral cleanse.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Jeremy was just highlighting to us that these pipes are clean. And that's
the triple exit.
That brings you back to welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. We are a podcast about obscure, forgot about, and often overlooked films. And I am Paul, and next to me is Mike.
Hey.
And there's Lamar.
Hello.
There's Jeremy.
Greetings.
Pipes are clean. And there's Collin. And Collin says he's happy to be here.
Yeah.
In his own language. And Jeremy was just highlighting that he survived death. He vomited out the alien entity that overcame his body. And,
if you want to quickly lose 7 pounds over the course of 3 days in a most horrible way, I recommend you check out the norovirus.
Wow. All right.
You're really selling us.
Check it. From your local library, you check that out.
Yeah, I'm sure you can, man. You lick enough surfaces, you're going to be good.
Is that part of our merch line?
The norovirus?
It's just a picture of me yakking into a bucket while sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're feeling better, man.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Wow.
Well, Mike.
No, I'm good.
Mike's angry.
Mike's big Ozempic. He doesn't like.
That's right.
He doesn't like competition cutting in.
Well, if you are feeling better, much like Jeremy is, then you're going to be up for 1985 Star Night. Princess Alba is abducted by a dragon, and it's up to Klever to save her. But it turns out that this dragon is an alien spacecraft, and Alba falls in love with the human alien inside it. A tale as old as time. Star Night, 1985. Yeah, it's. I mean, if you're looking.
First of all, nobody should check this fucking movie out, Paul. No one.
Listen,
no one.
If you're looking for a movie that defies and overlaps genres, fantasy, romance, action, adventure. If you're looking for a movie that's thought-provoking, that almost like really spins a love triangle that like reaches intergalactic proportions, if you're looking for things like that and you're ready for it, Star Night's for you.
No, it's not. Yeah. Listen to this podcast. We're going to have fun talking about this movie, but at no point should you go seek this movie out. I feel spiritually weakened after watching this movie. Wow. Physically for a different reason, but spiritually because of this movie.
Counterpoint, I feel strong.
Yeah, so really, Paladin Mike over here really wanted this film. None of us had seen this film, and as noted, we're celebrating a lot of 40th anniversaries, and here's the 40th anniversary.
I would
of Star Night.
How did Mike come across this film?
Well, you guys,
I think did we discuss this?
Yeah, you guys were willy-nilly pulled up a list. Lamar read the synopsis, like dragon, spaceship, and you guys were in.
Yeah.
And I was like, no one's seen this.
Okay.
And
this was a group effort. I mean, I'll take if blame. I guess I'll take credit maybe. But we were all here for this.
I want part of the blame too.
Yeah, you read the list. Yeah,
you have to work in one of these films once in a while.
I'm excited about this movie.
Yeah, I was excited going into the review of it after watching it. Well, that's another story. I'll save that for later.
Yeah. But Jeremy was texting us all day about how much he hated it, and it was giving me power and energy.
Right.
Yeah.
But Jeremy was also simultaneously writing us like, I have tattoo ideas. I like these kind of designs. I think I might get one for the family. We're going to join forces. Like, oh my God, this is the inspiration of some of the Star Wars movies I've seen. Like, this is amazing. Harvey Keitel's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the man.
Yeah, that's what he's telling me.
And So does anybody know if this is like Harvey Keitel's first movie?
Not yeah,
no?
Fun story. So I looked it up.
It's
It is
not.
not at all. He's done like 25 things before.
He
this.
was in Taxi Driver
really?
before this movie.
Yeah, like Jeremy. Like maybe 25 is an exaggeration. At least 15 things. I was scrolling through a list. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't
Did
know
they
he went back to
provide
the
him
60s.
with just the IMDb synopsis
here-
and no script?
here
And
is-
then like he shows up that day and you're like, put this on.
No.
Here's your line.
Here was my thought, Jeremy. He was vacationing in this area, and the government approached him and was like, if you're willing to film for 2 days, you will live like a king in our land. And he's like, done.
Do you want to stay in this castle for free?
I do.
Then let me
All right,
introduce
that
you
makes
to
sense.
Bocephus or whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
I feel like there's more
Boetius.
logic behind that than anything else. Because
Yeah.
if I found out Harvey Keitel read this script and like maybe even did some research on the editors of this movie who were probably just a couple of gerbils, then yeah, he has
It was
problems.
1985. They approached him. They were like, do you want to be a gallant knight? He's like, my God, I always thought I was. And they're like, we'll knight you in real life. You're the Knight of Spain.
Harvey could have been paid this whole time. We could have just.
When he wasn't
Had you.
filming, he was playing squash with Boetius.
Hanging out with those ducks.
Yeah, hanging out with a duck.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to compare this to outside of insanity.
Honestly, it's like cowboys and aliens.
Yeah, there you go.
I like the idea of this movie. I'm not gonna lie. This was not well done,
No.
but I like the idea of it.
I've never actually watched that whole movie, Cowboys and Aliens.
You don't have to.
Don't.
It's
All right.
it's maybe worse than this movie.
Damn.
No.
That is something.
Yeah, laugh at that.
Probably not.
It's hard for a modern movie to be worse than this movie, although this isn't the worst movie of all time.
I do want to open with although clearly people could maybe debate the story and some of the elements like good or bad. The lighting of this film is the worst.
What lighting?
We have never reviewed a film where noticeably the lighting is so horrific. It's off-putting. Like sometimes, I don't know if they're trying to use it as a special effect or just
They had like
it's off-
4 lighters and a fucking flashlight.
I think it's all they
That's what
could
they had.
afford.
That was their budget.
Well,
Spain made them go away during the day.
Jeremy, I was joking. When we watched this, did no one look at the film at any point in time until it was done? The director's like, show it to me now that we're all done. He's like, oh shit.
Everything about all of the the voices were overdubbed on top of the people probably actually saying them, but they didn't match
Right.
up. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the whole thing was ADR'd.
But the lighting, I'm like, it's so dark in areas. I'm like, what were you expecting?
Well, little known fact: Harvey Keitel is crepuscular. This is when he's awake.
Nice. That's why they had that rabbit picture earlier.
Yeah.
The spirit of the rabbit just jumping around. Rabbit troop sucks. There you go. Kapusk your way to the top, everybody. Yeah. So if no one has seen this movie, if you're looking at it, it almost looks like the shadow people in the Lord of the Rings animated movie.
Yeah.
It's like this weird rotoscoped overlay, and it's weird. Other things I want to note, and this doesn't always happen. There were certain scenes where people were talking to one another and they're in a crowd, and the director made a choice that every time someone said a word, that the camera would be in their face, even if they said yes, no. So it was face. And I looked at these guys. I was like, I'm getting dizzy. This is insane because they're going around a circle of people, not really in an order, but it's them, him, them, turn left. I was like, what the hell's happening? So yeah, the lighting, the direction, everything's firing on all cylinders. Star Night, 1985.
It is.
Yeah. God.
It's hard.
Go pluck your Boetius.
You take a deep breath real quick and
Yeah.
Recollect. Gather as a society again. Well, this movie starts off with some lighting. Some people light some stuff. They see some lighting, and then maybe kind of lightning.
They're looking for the elixir of life, man.
Yeah,
you know?
Boetius is doing like alchemy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that literally played no fucking part in the rest of the movie
No,
whatsoever.
it did not.
They also talk
Hell,
about
you got to start somewhere.
They also talk about Star Knight being immortal. At no point in time is that proved. At any point in time, they're like, now that he's mortal, I'm like, when was he immortal?
Well, they didn't know.
Well, they didn't know, but like, why are you assuming that?
because they couldn't kill him.
Harvey Keitel's like, man, crack that dude's mask off. He's gonna go down like 1, 2, 3, and he did.
Yeah. Well, he didn't so much crack his mask off as he did something.
We call it
Did some
crack
hand
shellac.
signals. Yeah. The suit only responds to deaf people. So.
Harvey Keitel and his weird hand signals. Yeah.
Turns out if you just poke him in the forehead enough times.
that was the signal to put the suit back on.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So, listeners, if you're not with us so far, Star Knight is a Class A film from 1985 where the story makes sense. The direction is just on point. The
Tentpole flick. Yeah.
the story is moving.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
I like how I usually start our reviews with going over the cast and directors. There's nobody
No, we
in this
did-
movie
There's Harvey
at all.
Keitel.
There's
Keitel,
Harvey
yeah.
Keitel, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of other people, and that's it. Director is whatever.
The Klaus Kinski guy.
Klaus Kinski, he's a person.
That's true. He's done a lot.
Yeah.
And his director has also done a lot, but it's all just in Spanish. He's done like hundreds of things.
He's done all of the
Lamar,
Spanish
I would be
movies.
hard pressed to say that the editors of this movie have ever done like motion pictures
No, yeah, that's fair.
because I don't know if they understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
They just done pictures.
they're like wedding photographers. Like, hey, you guys, come over
It's
here.
true. And every aspect of the cast, like the lighting directors, the casting directors, everybody just involved. Just
Harvey Keitel was vacationing in town.
and that was it.
They saw Cabana Boy with him. He became assistant director number 1.
Was he? He was probably the squire.
Harvey Keitel's assistant became
Green Knight.
the Green Knight.
There you go.
Craft services became the cinematographer.
Who was the language coach?
That was no one. That was everyone agreed that we could do it together as a
There's a
nation.
dog named Samuel.
He'll sort it out in the end.
Who was the goat that flew in the first scene?
I have that. So the only redeeming quality of this movie is that they made a goat. They had a guy try to make a goat commit suicide, and then when
said-
it did,
no, he said just
it
jump into
flew
my
off
arms.
into the air,
So the only redeeming quality of this
and it
movie,
didn't explain why
No.
at all.
The only
I am
redeeming-
assuming you're led to like you're supposed to think like, oh, it must have been scooped up by a dragon.
Did he like just
No,
he
that did not
sucked it
happen.
right up?
Yeah, that did. Yeah,
well-
the goat just flew away. It flew away.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Sort of, I guess. I mean, so the movie starts off at night, I think, due to the lighting, that this guy Boetius, who's some alchemist, is doing some alchemy stuff as noted by everyone, making the elixir of life, who knows. But a bunch of light happens and everyone's like, oh my God. So basically the next day, some sort of strange events happen. This goat, for example, flies off into the atmosphere. No one really talks about this, but now there's rumored to be a dragon. Everyone's like, there's a dragon in town. People are like, oh my God, that dragon. And you see the rumor mill like, yeah, that dragon.
I'm not paying fucking taxes anymore now.
That's something I would
Which
like
I
to
guess
bring
is
up.
the main driving factor of the king in this movie.
So the count of this weird county,
He's the county.
as Collin pointed out, that the count of the county,
That's where the count
he's
comes
really
from.
pissed off. He's like, the people are kind of like being asses. And like the guards and stuff, they're like, I don't know. They're just like not paying taxes. So there's a rumor to be a dragon and the people just stop paying taxes. Later in moments, like you'll see that like these county people, they're forced to do everything. Dye clothes colors, attend certain things. How are they not paying taxes? It seems very clear that the count of the county would be like, hey man, if you don't pay taxes, I'm going to kill you. But I guess
But then
not.
who would pay taxes?
Yeah, tax man.
Yeah, that's
dragon.
the problem.
Yeah. This isn't really a well thought out or governed fiefdom or whatever.
Yeah, I mean the weirdest thing, Jeremy, is I don't know if you did any research on this movie whatsoever, but according to IMDb, did you know this is based on a true story?
Let me tell you something. If I did a bunch of research on this movie and then watched it, I might kill myself.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. Next time I see you, we're gonna get you so liquored up and passed out. You're gonna wake up with a script of this movie tattooed on your back.
I could live with that.
All 3
Done.
pages.
Done.
It's gonna include all the Green Knight grunts.
Oh yeah, and the beeps. Yeah, so the townspeople were like, "Oh my God, dragon! I'm done paying taxes. Just done. That was point A to point B. Done paying taxes.
Yeah.
They were ready. They were just looking for that trigger. Oh my God, this bowl of rice is bad. I'm done paying taxes.
Any excuse. I wonder if I can get away with that.
There were lights in the sky and my goat flew off.
Yeah. When Denver sends me a nasty email like, guys, I heard a boom. I'm not paying taxes.
Yeah, done. So the princess of the county.
Oh, she wants to fuck.
Yeah, she does.
Like real bad. She's like, Dad, like,
yeah.
I got to get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
in my notes, I have looking for the D.
yeah.
Okay, good.
So Harvey Keitel flirts with her a lot. He is clever. And spelled with a K. Looks
He
like
wants to
Klever.
be a knight.
Yeah, he just wants to be a knight. So he's kind of like flirtsy and the.
What is he now? Is he just like
He's just a guy.
soldier
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
He's just a putz.
Yeah. Just putzing around.
Yeah.
He is a putz.
The
dude.
king is like getting it from both sides. On one hand, he's got his daughter like, I want a bone. He's like, fuck, just stop. And then Clever's like, you should make me a knight, bro. He's like, no, god damn it. And that's like 20 minutes of this movie.
Yeah. So the count's like, oh man, like I'll maybe make you a knight one day, but you better listen to everything. And then he goes to his daughter. He's like, don't ever date that dude. And she's like, I'm not interested, but I do want to meet some guy sometime. So I'm gonna go ride around for a little bit with like my handmaiden. And he's like, all right. So she does. And like one of the first things the princess does is just like abandon all reason and just like go swimming in a lake.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just going
nude in a lake. Yeah.
yeah, and the
She's just
handmaid's
made.
like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Whatever." And then as what happens, a UFO spaceship that people think is a dragon sucks her up and flies off. Boom. Well, it not flies off yet, but
Yeah.
it will fly.
Yeah, bye.
They didn't know it was a UFO in the beginning. They
I
just
think
thought it was
they
a
did.
dragon or like this Loch Ness monster. It was just a monster in the
I
river.
think with their limited education and technology, they knew it was a UFO.
I don't know that they ever didn't think it was a dragon. Even at the end, when Harvey Keitel's flying around in it,
Just spoiler.
I think he still thinks it's a dragon.
Up
think
until
they-
this,
they
Well,
call it a
maybe on
dragon,
this
yeah.
planet, dragon means fucking spaceship.
That's
man. We
that's
don't
right.
know.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Jeremy.
I mean, it says in the summary that this guy is a human alien. What the fuck are these people called? You know? They're on a different planet. Humans are on this.
Oh shit!
Simpletons.
Is this planet not Earth?
Oh my god.
No.
oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
This movie
Yeah.
got even better for me. The layers, the nuance.
There's never been a Boetius on this planet.
Listen.
That's how you know.
No, there hasn't.
This is Army of Darkness. These are a bunch of simpletons. These are morons.
And up until this point, we have not.
Primitives. They're primitives.
It's like late planet stupidia.
Up until this point, we haven't actually seen a dragon. They just allude to
Yeah.
a dragon being, and there's kind of effects that allude to a dragon attacking, but it's more like just cameras flashing to something happening in the background while something attacks.
And at any point in time, they could feel the dragon.
They can just feel it. It's there. Just imagine dragons, if you will. Thank you. Thank
Hashtag.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you. You don't have to
She's
imagine
in the,
dragons
she's in
anymore
the belly of the
because
beast, though.
we can see the UFO now.
That's
as it
true.
Hey, let me
emerges
ask you
from the
something.
sea.
Okay.
So this broad, she wants to get out and have a
This
little fun,
fucking
so-
broad. Yeah.
Yeah. She wants to
Princess
get out.
broad.
She's sneaking around looking for the D and comes upon this guy, a green knight. Is this guy's sole fucking job to just like?
Oh, wait, you're
keep
talking.
people
Whoa,
from
whoa, whoa,
crossing
you're,
this bridge?
well, you're talking about before the princess gets sucked up
Yeah.
by the dragon.
Oh yeah. Who is this green knight guy?
Just
What is
hanging
his
out.
purpose
Fucking
in this
Just
movie?
yeah.
So the Green Knight is. And this is gonna sound weird. This is one semblance of an idea that I see in the movie, like that kind of could work. This is a very like Terry Gilliam.
I was gonna say,
character.
like,
Thank you.
someone saw Holy Grail and
Thank
was
you.
like,
Yeah.
can we do that? Can
Exactly.
we fit that
Thank
in?
you.
So I'm like, I see where this is going. So they have this like goofy knight who's like very much charmed by the princess. And I like this idea that he's like, I'm supposed to guard this area. And she's like, I'm the princess. He's like, oh shit. Like, you're beautiful and I'd do anything for you. Okay. So I like this one idea. It doesn't pay off at all. This guy is useless all throughout the movie. But yeah, he's like, go on and pass. And she's like, okay. And that's when she's like, I'm going to go and swim in nude in a river.
And then she gets sucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was like
I love that.
like a Don Quixote homage, kind of, where it's
I can
like
see that.
we want like
Yeah.
a really kind of quirky knight kind of guy. It's a Spanish movie, so
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Then they play spin doctors, two princes. The dragon sucks Princess Alba up.
Okay.
Fuck.
I wish that happened like that.
We all do. We all do.
Oh man, this movie would.
It
yeah,
kinda did.
I would be right back on that train, baby. Choo choo.
Yeah, so basically what happens is Klever uses this a bit to his advantage. He finds out that the princess is kidnapped, and everyone basically assumes, well, no. Do they assume she's dead yet?
they think
Or-
she's dead. Yeah.
Okay.
They do.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're having a funeral. For
Right,
her,
I
like,
couldn't remember
immediately.
if going to the UFO was the first part of this. Because they do go to the UFO. Is that first or after the
Oh,
funeral?
you know what?
No, that's after
No.
she comes back.
They don't know that there's a UFO yet because they just saw her drown. So
Right.
then her lady in waiting goes back to confess that she let the princess drown.
So is that before or after the funeral?
This is before.
Yeah, they
Before
search
all.
around in the water and they see the lights under the water, but they can't do anything about it. So they're like, all right,
That's
let's
after
just
the
have this
funeral.
So
funeral.
then it flies off.
Oh,
Yeah, it
Okay.
flies off, then they have the funeral.
Then they have the funeral. Okay. Because this is where Harvey Keitel's like, I'm going to get you. Yeah. So like.
Did Harvey Keitel write his own lines?
Yeah,
for
like
this movie?
I
so
think so.
Harvey Keitel's like cursing at a
definitely
spaceship
did.
that's like 5 times the size of a house. And this primitive's got like a dagger and almost drowning in the water. Also, Harvey Keitel falls like 5 times in this movie. Like he's on a ladder, he falls off.
I
like,
believe
from
that
the
none of
spaceship.
that was scripted. I think he just kept falling off of stuff. They're like, you know what? Leave it.
Yeah, that's all we need to
That music was edited out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original soundtrack was just yakety sax.
It was never edited out of my head. Here's a cucumber, Keitel.
Gross. Paul's offering up the cucumber. Yeah.
Full cuke.
Sometimes you got to go full cube. guys.
Hey, when you get a movie of this quality, you go in full cuke.
Yeah.
you have to. Yeah.
And I go English.
Ooh.
Yeah.
English cuke.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
One day I'll know what that means. And
You'll know.
No, you won't.
Yeah, you will.
Someday when you grow up, we'll tell you.
Jeremy, look into my eyes. Yeah, you will.
When you grow up, it'll show you.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. Curse you, evil octopi! Fly off to hell! Yeah, but Kaitown is knighted, and he got what he wanted. And
Yeah,
even the priest is like,
true.
even like on the way, the priest is like this bumbling buffoon. He's like falling out of a raft. He's literally swinging a
well,
morning
he gets knighted,
star
and
in a
then
ship.
like they knight him so hard he falls over.
Yeah, he falls over
Like the next day,
immediately.
he's like outside and like is just standing there and falls over too. As I said, like Harvey Keitel's just like falling down.
I think he was drunk.
I think this is just a documentary.
Like Paul said, he's on vacation. He's like, hey man, I'm on vacation.
Right. This
Please
isn't
continue to
Star
drink.
Night. This is a documentary called like Keitel Goes to Spain.
Right. Like Ernest goes to
That's what
camp.
this is called in Spanish.
Yeah.
Star
Keitel.
Night translates as Keitel's vacation.
Kaitown in the 80s.
That'd be so much better. I feel like if they booked a movie like that, I would enjoy it more.
Probably.
But instead, they have to shoehorn a plot into this.
You know what?
Almost.
You ripped off his arm. You had a spare. Action Jackson. Call back. There you go.
Damn it! I knew you were going there.
I mean, what else you
Nice.
got? What else you got in Star Night? What other kind of callbacks do you have? So like Princess Alba, I mean, whatever kind of order or semblance we put this movie in for you, she starts falling in love with this Star Knight, this cosmic being of sorts.
Well, he shows up at the castle later. That's when she goes with him.
That's true.
Because we don't see him for a hot
No.
minute.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like while they've been together. That's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah, okay.
They say this throughout the movie. That's
Yeah,
all. Like,
sure.
however,
Because don't they? Doesn't the witch doctor hypnotize her and you kind of get
Yeah.
Boetius.
Yeah.
His whole subplot.
Bo did he?
Bodhi. I didn't understand.
Bodhi!
I didn't understand what Boetius was doing this whole movie.
You know what he was doing.
He was like making potions and petting his cat and like wearing hats.
Euphemisms every which way. Making potions and petting cats.
He's dealing in the arcane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, regardless of how we put this together.
Well, I think he thinks he called this fucking guy because he was doing that shit in the beginning.
No, like there are scenes that we don't see as an audience. That's what I'm saying. Like they will talk about later, and she's like, when I was on the ship, like he loved me and he talked to me. Like we just find that out throughout the movie. So like all these adventures that Princess Alba's with Star Knight, falling in love.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of played out with. You can kind of see some scenes where they're kind of talking, and she finds out how he communicates with her through calling it a great example of the communications earlier. Yeah, Jeremy.
This princess is kind of a fucking bitch.
Whoa, Jeremy! At the very
swallow
end of this movie, she says some stuff that's like, "Why wouldn't you do all this shit for me?" I was like, "Whoa, what?" Like,
I mean, she is. At one point, she's like, "Hey, if this motherfucker won't, show me his affection, this alien guy, then yeah, Keitel, I'll go down on you.
Also, I want to make clear. So, Star Knight, whatever this guy's name is, if it's ever noted. So, fake David Bowie.
IX.
It's fake David Bowie.
IX?
Yeah, his name is IX.
IX David Bowie in a Dune outfit makes it clear through talk that I cannot take off my armor and my mask because I cannot breathe the air that you're breathing. She says like 7 times throughout the movie, why can't you take off the mask? Are you still not going to take off the mask? Like even towards the end, she's like, are you still not taking off the mask? I was like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, she doesn't give a fuck. She wants that alien D.
No. She wants the,
yeah.
and that's Star Knight. And she gets it.
Yeah, she gets hers at the end.
She's in love with the Star Knight.
She gets hers at the end.
She gets it at the end.
In a way, yeah. She is doing everything to get that Star Knight.
In a way and in an end.
She's very thirsty for the Star Knight. And
wow.
He's very, he's not as
he's very
thirsty
viscous.
for her. He's very viscous.
He's thirsty enough. He fucking doesn't know when
he knows nothing.
Yeah.
He says, what is going on? It's like, you want me? Sure. And then he kind of like falling for her in a way. I don't know why he's falling for her. It's just kind of happening.
Because I told you.
Yeah, I mean, everybody I think this planet turns you into a simpleton because there's no goddamn way that this motherfucker society is building spaceships and they send dipshit here to this fucking planet. You know?
He lands, and just like the song, all the kids boogie.
Yeah, why was
That's
he even
true.
here?
Or it turns you to a simp.
He was there because it was implied, Mike.
he was collecting animal spirits.
He was looking for goats, yeah.
There's no animal spirits. Colin's right.
Okay.
Because she later says, like, oh, you're like Noah from Noah's Ark. Like, you're collecting 2 of everything. And then he's like, and she's like, oh, you're not. You're just collecting their spirits. And my thought is, oh, you're just killing things? He's the predator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
He's bringing home trophies.
I think that was David Bowie with some heavy makeup on. He's hanging out with Keitel on this vacation. This is both of their vacation movies.
Well,
yeah.
Jeremy, if you want to do a line of Starman, then you just assembled the crew.
Damn.
That's right.
So
Maybe that's why they wanted us to come to Spain that one day.
Yeah. Does Mike still not remember
Star Night 2.
that we've been invited to Spain? We were discussing that on a previous episode.
Keitel really loves you guys. He wants to make Star Night 2.
You guys want to talk about Star Night live at our club?
Yes. Fly me to Spain. I'll be in Star Night.
Cool. I can't wait to Zoom with Mike's corpse.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
All right, but you have to be Boetius.
Great. Whatever.
Jeremy, I talked to
Jeremy.
I know we always talk about this. I talked about maybe this Halloween we go all of our favorite Star Night characters. Mm-hmm. I told Lamar's going as Boetius.
I'm going to be those ducks.
Well, if Lamar's going to be Boetius, then I'll go as Naked Princess.
Oh, yeah, that's what we had it before.
There you go.
Who's going to swim 3 inches behind your ass?
I gotta go.
The one left.
There's a scene where they're getting to know each other, and Klever, the knight, he rolls up on them, and he's ready to fight. He has a sword out, and he's ready to go, and the alien's like not having any of it. And as
The greeny weenie.
this,
Yep.
Oh, is that when Star
this
Knight's
when,
like skulking around the castle?
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
tries to hit him with like a sword.
Star
It is.
Knight.
He's doing some sneaking.
Star Knight has got some serious eye vibes going on, like all throughout the movie. It's like, yes, like
they're close-up eye vibes.
Yeah,
too.
I don't like it. Yeah,
you
it's
don't like the
like
close-ups.
it's like for one, why did the princess fall in love with and eye vibes? I have no idea what's going on.
At some point, doesn't that fucking Boetius, is that his name?
Yeah.
Boetius.
Bodacious. Doesn't he go into the spaceship at some point and like enters it through like the Jaws vagina entrance to
I'm
that
sorry,
spaceship?
what?
I mean, you may have seen a different.
The entrance to the spaceship, it looks like a giant vagina with like teeth all around it.
I think you were maybe watching a different film.
My version was so much better.
Yeah.
I think at the very end they go in there, but I don't think until then.
Well, at the
No, the doctor, he gets like a little magic ball from the fucking alien
Yeah,
guy.
he gets a magic ball. And it's true. He gets Bodie. Boetius gets Bodie.
what is?
I'm telling you,
Double
man,
Bs.
that happened.
Yeah.
So-
no, you're totally right.
Okay.
I know why I wrote down this part, because this is the part where the knight is attacking the alien ship with his flail.
What we should note something which is kind of, I guess, interesting. So Klever, I guess, is trying to save Princess Alba.
Sure.
But it's kind of weird because at the beginning of the movie he is flirting with her like, oh, this, but it's very clear that he's flirting because he wants to impress her dad, the Count. He wants to become a knight. And now that he's become a knight, he has been promised that if you save the princess, you will, beyond your knighthood, you'll get half the land, like, of my kingdom. I mean, I guess the county, but
No, that was Keitel. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, my princess, she right before she fucking jumped off the side of the castle with Star Knight, her little scarf flew free and he caught it, and then he took it back to County Man. And he's like, hey, your daughter gave this to me. She said, save me. And if I do, she said I could have half her land.
yeah, it's like a star knight with a scarf floating in the air.
How about
She got Keitel'd.
Yeah, and all the children boogie.
I love that song, man.
Damn right you do.
I would have rather listened to that song on repeat for an hour and a half than watch this movie.
Well, didn't you, I think jokingly, maybe not so jokingly, send us a text like, if you say anything
did, yeah.
outside of the soundtrack or the score being I thought the score was absolutely fine in this movie.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys can say that the score was
Yeah.
okay, but you cannot say this.
Yeah,
movie
the score for a 1985 like fantasy film, like a fantasy adventure, because it's not just pure fantasy, like it's more like adventure too. The score is actively good.
It's
like,
fine, yeah.
yeah, like it's whoever did it, like good job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that everything else went to shit in this movie for you. Like,
He doesn't care.
you are better.
Or she
You are
doesn't
better.
care,
You are
whoever
better
it
than
is.
the movie you did this for.
I'm 100% convinced that the guys who did the Final Fantasy fight music was inspired by the score of this,
Okay, I can buy that.
because the ending theme sounds just like some Final Fantasy shit. It's absolutely ridiculous. Orchestral. Like, go back and watch it and just listen to it, and you can just picture in your head. This is Squaresoft at its peak.
How dare you try to trick us into going back and watching it?
I'm sorry.
The last,
don't watch it
the
again.
last thing the composer ever did was Luna Caliente in 2009.
Is it Hot Moon?
It's whatever you want it to be.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole Boetius like subplot.
In prison, you'll be calling out for sweetmeats.
Yeah, Boetius is trying to find immortality.
Is that what he's doing? Because I didn't pick up on that. Like when they raid his little lab, he's making hot sauce. And
I literally asked everyone in
and
this
he-
room. I was
He had
like,
a supplement.
he
somewhere.
puts some of it into like
Nobody's
a
paying
necklace.
taxes anymore.
yeah, I was like, what exactly is he doing? And no one really knew.
No one.
I think he was making hot
And
sauce.
then his cat ate
Boetius
some of
hot
it.
sauce.
They arrested him.
You
His
buy
cat
that.
ate it, and
Well, he put some in an amulet, and then that never it never mattered again.
No.
Yeah, they never
Correct.
bring that up. So Colin, I'm glad you're bringing this up. So how about this? I'll just speak for myself. I did not fully understand that he was making this immortal elixir, but I did
didn't
understand
pick
that
up on that
he was
either.
making some kind of like, I thought it was like a powerful, like kind of like ward off evil elixir, because they keep talking about
Yes.
that's what the armor does. So I guess I'm wrong with that. But as Colin notes, Boetius puts this in like an amulet, like a necklace. And I thought this would be like the last thing that would like empower the Star Knight or something.
Right.
It is, first of all, then they arrest him and they trash everything else. So the only like residual is the cat has drank some, and there's some.
And he has like a little blue halo around his head. or
Right,
something.
and then there's some in the necklace.
Yeah.
And Colin is correct. It is never brought up ever again. Like, this I thought was going to be the thing to save it. This is going to be the last turning point in the movie. Star Knight's going to be down on his luck. No. Never brought up ever again.
Yep.
So all we know is Boetius essentially could be one of the most powerful people now on this planet, because he's wielding like magic we don't really understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
that's fine
times.
though.
All right, Star Knight, 1985, Harvey Keitel. Classic movie. He jumps from this to Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Directly to. I don't know about that whole potion theory. Because at the end, Star Knight is glowing as well.
He has a little blue halo too, Lamar.
Yeah,
I
but
think
no,
I just forgot to film that.
I
wait.
don't want to jump to that.
Wait. What are you saying you don't agree with?
Like the Boetius being like having first of all, this potion that they're making, I feel, and the necklace that they're pouring it in. I think there was a scene right before Star Knight is like,
Yeah, it was the
at
fucking
the end.
He had a ball that he gave when the doctor visited his ship. He's like, here's this ball. And I think it contained like the secrets or whatnot, but it never explained that, because why would you? That's dumb to
I thought the
explain
ball
things in a
has
fucking
something
movie.
to do with the potion that Boetius or whatever his name was making, and I just can't find out how that was connecting. So,
well, it was supposed to be that Star Knight would have been dying, and then he could have saved himself, or someone could have saved him by using the elixir, much like Trina saved in Manborg. And Manborg gives up his life
what
by
is
giving
this?
the juice. And then Star Knight finds out there is no heaven.
wow,
Wow.
you made a connection
That's very
there.
nice.
That
I like
is
that.
impressive.
It's never brought up. Like,
Yeah.
there is a very powerful magic that was just created, and it is never brought up ever again fully.
But yeah, I agree with you, Paul.
And-
I think it was kind of died off with
And
that. on that
what
episode.
happens to the cat in the greater scheme of things?
He's fine.
Right.
Yeah, that was
like,
never
It's a
explained
tennis
either.
racket.
but the cat, but no, like the cat drinks it and it's like glowing. It's like, meow. Like,
I was
it-
waiting
he
for
had the
something to
golden
happen
glow.
there.
Right, and
nothing happened.
Right. Okay. So the cat glows now. Like, that's the end result.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
That's
they
right.
do think
Well,
later
you
in
can
the
see
movie
dark.
that
Do you know how difficult it is to find a cat at night?
they later think in the movie that Star Knight is a saint because he glows blue.
Yeah.
Saint Cat,
Fuck.
Saint Meow Mix.
And somehow I thought the potion was connected with it, but I couldn't find a correlation where that necklace happened and how Star Knight got it.
Well, I mean, so we have established that Star Knight does have the princess, is with Princess Alba.
At this time, yes.
So Harvey Keitel's character, Klever, is like, you know what, I'm going to go challenge. And this movie is just off the effing rails.
Starts
So,
whacking on his ship.
yeah, so, well, but let's go before that. So he finds out where the ship is. And he's like, before I enter, and just gives off these series of rules. He's like, I'm going to come in. You can't use your ship, which he refers to as a dragon. Like, you can't use your dragon powers, and you've got to fight me like a man, and I get to choose the weapons, and I get to go first, and you need to come off, and you need to talk to me. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy.
He's like Stephen Chen from fucking Kung Fu Hustle. He's
There you
like,
go.
I'll fight anybody
Really?
except for all of you guys.
Yeah. I mean, really, he was just trying to do like a joust with maces, I think he said afterwards, and that's really it. He just didn't want the, alien to cheat.
Yeah, but like, why is he under the impression that the alien even understands the language that he's speaking? Like,
Well, he's Clever.
That's fair.
Son of a bitch.
Well, we're Rabbit Troop Sucks. Good night, everybody.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. This is like, I don't like. Okay, like I'm trying to think of like a real, like medieval knight scenario. Like, okay, there's a dragon that has a. How about this? King Kong has captured the princess, and you're gonna go reason him. Like, hey, get down here, King Kong. You can't use your brute force. We're gonna play a game of chess. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk about this. You got everything I'm saying? Like, what? Yeah, this is just craziness, and this goes on for like minutes, and then this is where the princess really gets like weird. She's like, this guy's willing to fight for me. Like, you're not gonna fight for me. Like, I thought you were willing to fight for me. I was like, what the shit? Like,
I know. I wanted to run this lady over with a car.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
she's
this guy-
playing both sides now.
Yeah, so she gets off the ship, and even Klever's like, what's this? Like, he's giving you up without a fight? And she's like, yep.
Yeah, she's like, I was a mega cuck, so I'm out.
And then she's like weird, like catatonic, like she won't talk for a little bit and just like stares off. He's like, this crazy. He's like, you coward, you come off. And then, Star Knight just flies off.
He was smart. He's like, she's like, you gotta fight for me. You gotta do this.
He's
He's
like,
yeah, fuck
I
this.
don't.
Well, he was like, no.
Yeah.
No, well, to quote Manborg, he goes,
Kind of a bitch.
nope.
Nope. Boom.
I
And
kinda thought,
flies
like,
off.
It kind of turns out, like, in hindsight, he probably flopped because he's like, man, I need to go find a fucking horse.
Yeah. So, well, he does.
Probably, yeah.
So so the next day, and we only really know that because it's the first time we could see the lighting in this movie. It was like, okay, so it's not like awkward blue, or weird colors I don't understand. Yeah, you heard me right. I don't understand the colors.
No,
I saw.
you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. Watch the movie. Like, tell me I'm wrong. So it's the next day, and they're just like riding off. The princess still kind of like weirdly unresponsive, and the priest is like, "Oh yeah, like this is totally rad, like cool." And then all of a sudden, Star Knight's there.
He's got the Green Knight's horse.
Yeah, Green Knight's horse and gear, and he's like ready to joust. And they're like, "Oh shit!" And then Klever goes to joust him. He's like, "I'm gonna go fight this guy, and we're gonna do some stuff." And I mean, the whole time I was like, "Star Knight, just shoot this dude with like a ray gun." And Star Knight is doing weird stuff. Like when they're jousting,
He's doing weird. He's doing weird stuff.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Star Knight is doing like, imagine someone could jump like, I don't know how high a human being normally could jump, a couple feet. Star Knight's jumping like 5 feet in the air, doing like double flips. Like, so he has like weird powers. It's all over the place. It is all over the place.
Weird
Eggs
powers.
all over my face.
Here's my theory on it, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't think that the actual aliens that own that spacecraft are who we're looking at. Star Knight's not those people. Those people are smart. They're intelligent. They've conquered intergalactic travel. This is a simpleton they picked up on a planet somewhere. Maybe they felt sorry for him. I don't know. But they put him in this suit because he couldn't breathe their atmosphere. And he is just a fucking moron.
Mike thinks
that
there's
doesn't know how to use the fucking
Mike
translator
thinks
on
there's
the
an
suit.
interlink
So
to
he
it.
sends out a series of beeps and whistles, like some kind of backwoods.
Jeremy, Mike thinks there's an interlink to this in Explorers. That he was at one step away from giving a comic stand-up routine.
Oh shit.
No, so genuinely what I think is I think Star Knight, this is like a Dread Pirate Roberts kind of situation. I don't think he was part of the guys that built this ship at all. I think he was just some poor bozo who like accidentally tapped on the visor.
Would you call him a cabin boy?
Yeah, put the suit on, his pipes got cleaned, and he's just flying around and he's like, I don't know what to fucking do, so give me that goat, I guess. And then this chick's like, hey, want to bang? He's like, I don't know.
So the original Star Knight was just like some weird alien, and
Correct.
like this has been a series of humans that
This-
have
you saw
found
his
the
eyes.
suit.
This is more like a greatest American hero kind
Yeah,
of
you-
situation. He doesn't know what to do.
You
That's
saw
the-
Star Knight's crazy
I
eyes.
saw his eyes. Yeah, he had the crazy eye.
He
all
does.
right.
That's because he's scared because he doesn't know what to do. He's terrified.
So every alien that finds, or every human that finds this Star Knight suit becomes David Bowie.
Yeah,
and
basically, that's
just
correct.
walks the earth
Yeah.
looking for hot princesses.
Right. Well, and that's exactly what happens to Harvey Keitel. Like when they're joust, he does like weird sign language tapping on the visor. The suit pops right onto him.
That's true. Yeah.
he's like sick. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
And you said hot princess. The moment that princess was like, hey, there's this weird psycho outside and you won't fight him, I think less of you. She was like adamant about this.
Yeah,
like
he's being a real big old bee.
Yeah, that was insane. Because even Star Knight was like, well, you can see in his eyes, like, woo. All the R2 sounds. Yeah, it was bizarre. I was like, what was this turn of events? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But they're jousting. First, Harvey Keitel's lance breaks, and now he's got a little nub.
That's not a metaphor. That's what happened.
Now he's just nubbing people.
He's got a little nub.
But he nubs Star Knight right off his horse.
He does rub him right off the horse.
Yeah. Would you say rub him?
No, he nubs him.
Oh, he nubs him right off the horse. That's where you see Star Knight just like doing these like weird like aerial flips and jumping around.
Yeah.
And
He's very nimble.
We forgot to talk about this. Harvey Keitel did find out by entering, was it the dragon or something? Like
he entered the dragon.
There is a way to disarm.
Got his ass beat.
Yeah, there is a way to disarm the armor that if you like tap on the helm in a certain sequence or way, the armor will turn off. We'll just say that because something happens to Harvey Keitel that he doesn't expect. He does want the armor, but through the fights, he's like tapping on the helmet that we talked about, which is like really bizarre. He's like beep beep.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a really bad weakness for armor to be touched in the most touchable place. And
Right.
And then the armor is taken off Star Knight and put right onto Harvey Keitel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he takes the priest for some reason, who's been a real dick throughout the movie.
Yeah, I don't know why
Back
that
to the
guy's- I don't know why
spaceship.
he's
Listen,
tagging
I don't
along.
think he takes
Listen,
it,
a
he
Star Knight
follows.
and a priest walk onto a dragon.
Yeah.
Explains itself.
Joke, right?
Yeah. Intergalactic chuckles that you'll find. A little brouhaha.
Yes.
You'll like it.
Yeah. They're on the ship now. They don't know what they're doing, but they're leaving. They're
Yes.
leaving this planet.
Yeah, so simultaneously, we are thinking Star Knight, who is now nude and cannot breathe the atmosphere of this planet, maybe Earth, is dying. The princess is like, oh my God, and runs after her. Boetius is like, I will be here next to you, Princess Alba. And yes, now Harvey Keitel is adorning the dragon armor, and he takes the priest and they go onto the spaceship, which they think is a dragon. For some reason, they think this is going to unlock like these cosmic secrets. They'll be able to control this. Like, I really don't know what their plan is. Like, in some ways, if I were to really, oh my God, I'm like making insane stretches here.
Ooh, I can't wait for this.
Well, it's not like crazy, but I think what the priest is trying to do is Game of Thrones this and be like, if I control a dragon, I could control pretty much like any place on this planet. Like I could conquer cities. Like I think, and again, this is the stretch because they're not saying it's like there's a couple words and phrases and a bit of dialogue that highlights that he wants like bigger control and this will give it to him. And I would have to assume this is what he's kind of noting. It's not really sad, but that's what I think the priest goal is. So there's also like a weird turn for me, and it totally fizzles out. When they get in this quote unquote dragon, which is a spaceship, the priest is like, we're going to find things out. And we'll get back to Star Knight and the princess in a second, but they have like a minute left of this movie. So the spaceship flies off and kind of Star Knight is left to his own devices and we assume almost dying at this point in time. And so let's wrap up Harvey Keitel and the priest right here. Harvey Keitel oddly becomes a little bit like aware and solemn. So the priest is like, we're going to do this and X, Y, and Z. And Harvey Keitel like kind of becomes serious. He's like, I just want a place to find. And he's like not interacting. The priest is kind of floating around the ship because he seems like unshackled by gravity. But Harvey Keitel is wearing the suit, so he's kind of like in place. But it seems like Harvey Keitel for one moment has like almost like a, I don't know, cosmic epiphany. Like maybe he understands the suit and like a mission. Like, and I say this loosely, like for a moment, because the priest is like talking about illusions of grandeur and we're going to do this. And Harvey Keitel is a very different person now. He's like, yes, like we'll find things, but like maybe by my own rules. Yeah. But at the very end of the movie, which is in moments, they pan back and it's like, you dunce, turn left, ziggy zag. And it's like all of that is undone. It's like now super cartoonish and these two buffoons are floating in a ball in space
shit.
and will clearly starve to death. And that's it. That's their story. Now, back to
the princess,
Yeah.
which I have, the last note I have is, no, the second to last note I have is
she
princess
kisses-
is still a big cunt.
Wow.
And God, I hate this movie.
she kisses Star Knight back to life. She breathes life back into him. He's like,
Yeah. But doesn't she say something that is just, I don't know. It seemed inappropriate at the time. Like, she's like, what are we going to do? Like, are you going to fucking wash my clothes, motherfucker?
and he was like, boo doo 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 doo.
Can he talk now? Does he say anything?
No. Even
Okay.
without the suit, he talks like Bodhi. I'm Bodhi.
It's gonna be real
Yeah.
awkward for whatever they try to do.
He's a real solar baby.
God, I think Keitel actually got the fucking... He won in this
Yeah.
Did he?
particular
I mean, I
situation.
feel like these dudes are going to starve to death in 3 days.
But I mean, that seems
Still a
preferable
win.
to dealing with his broad.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeremy would know, yeah. So Star Knight, they breathe life back into him. He's like, and I guess they live happily ever after. Well, I mean,
No
they
one's
do,
happy.
Well, they do go back, and that's what I said before. So they do go back to the county, and the count is like, oh my God, you saved my daughter. As promised, you'll get half the land. And he doesn't say anything. She's like, he's really bashful, and he's like, that's cool. And he doesn't say anything, and it's all weird. And he's glowing sometimes, and the villagers are like, oh my God, he's a saint. He's got powers. Like, things are happening.
Yeah. And presumably they all pay taxes again.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Credits roll.
Yeah. Like the good times, they roll. And the taxes. And the heads of your enemies. Let them roll.
There you go.
Yay.
Let the good times roll.
Oh, baby.
That's it.
One of my favorite points, and Mike and I are going to be remiss about this, is something was happening. It was in the church. No, it was in the church. I remember what the princess shows back up, and she's kind of like catatonic a little bit, and they thought this was a funeral. And this was my favorite part of the movie, and I just looked right at Mike because I knew he understood me. It was when the priest goes, Jesus Christ, about her rifle. I don't that destroyed me.
That sent me. That took me out real good.
Yeah, even he couldn't believe it. His faith was rattled about Princess Alba's return. That was amazing for me. His faith was rattled and confirmed simultaneously. So that was a good moment. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll get to everything, but like before we go to our final synopsis, any ideas or anything you want to share before we give our ultimate breakdown of this film? I know Jeremy's excited.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Jeremy just
No, have you read the trivia on this film?
Tell me some.
Like,
Yeah, let's
there
talk
had-
about it.
Like, this movie had illusions of grandeur. It says Burt Lancaster, Charlton fucking Heston, Kirk Douglas, and Robert Mitchum were considered for the role of Boetius.
Wow.
Considered.
Mike,
Considered as doing heavy lifting.
Yeah, Jeremy. I was just gonna note exactly what Mike was saying. Like, I could consider lots. Of, you know, Harvey Keitel was considered to be a guest on the show.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of softening the blow before
Right.
you say, yeah, we tried but failed.
Yeah.
Terribly.
We consider George Clooney to be a co-host, but we settled for
Right.
you lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other fun trivia going into this?
It did say, this is my favorite piece because it's just hilarious. It says, for some reason, the film became regarded as public domain title in the U.S. years after its release.
For some
Lots
reason.
of VHS and DVD releases have been floating around the market, usually of poor quality.
Yeah, this version was the reason because no one wanted to claim it. Like, whose movie is this? Everyone's like, what? No, I don't.
Like they
I've not
watch
heard
the
of this.
finished product, they're like, fuck.
They all did the finger in
We
the
don't know
collar.
what the
like,
fuck we're
"Ugh."
doing.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. That the idea that collectively society was like, this is just free.
Yeah, no one should make
yeah.
money off of this.
I like how it did. It started off with For some reason, like, we know the reason.
For some reason.
Indiana,
You don't have to say it, but we know.
let it go.
Indiana's the dogs.
Let it go.
That's impressive.
As always, feel free if you have any ideas like Illusions of Grandeur, or did you work on this movie, or is there just anything you want to tell us about film, about our podcast, about something cool? Please don't write us weird, awful, negative things. No one has, and I just appreciate that. So we're an ad-free podcast of a bunch of friends getting together, so I really appreciate the spirit of everyone listening to this. Feel free to reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. We'll get back to you. Feel free to go to our website, rabbittroopsucks.com. There's links to merchandise, there's episodes, there's pictures, there's various things. As always, we are on every platform that podcasts play. So if you're listening to us in one area and you want to check out something else, we're on YouTube, we're on the podcast app on my iPhone, we're on Amazon, Spotify, and the list goes on. We're also on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Feel free to reach out to us. As always, I mean, I really appreciate everyone talking about movies. Sometimes people really give us really cool insight. They've noted that they've worked on films, that they have merchandise about films that it's kind of rare. It's just really cool. I mean, honestly, we launched this podcast to really form a community of like-minded people just having fun with films. So it's just really cool to hear. So what did everyone think about Star Night, 1985? I mean, 1985 classic. I'm sorry.
I think Jeremy should go first.
Well, I just feel I'm really downplaying this movie. I mean, like, between the toy line, the Burger King, drink glasses, the posters, the Scholastic school books that came out. I mean, I remember being a kid and having like the Trapper Keeper
I was about
Star
to
Night
ask
folder.
if you had the Trapper Keeper.
I did.
Yeah.
I had the Trapper Keeper Star Night folder.
Yeah.
And people
Lunchbox?
well, people were like, "Is that Klever?" I was like, I asked my mom for Boetius, but they only had Klever still in stock. So
Yeah, Boetius
man.
was sold out at
Yeah.
Target.
There's a Boetius poster hanging behind me in the theater or in the studio right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the NECA action figure of Boetius, which was like really popular. It was really hard.
Boetius with the mostest.
Yeah, really hard to get. If you're really into toy lines, the Super 7 Boetius is probably coming out this year. So
Oh, man. Those reissues are hard to find.
They are. They are.
Jeremy, what do you think about this movie?
You
Yeah.
want to know what? So,
Jeremy,
no, this movie
define
it's junk.
Well, define what Knight Boetius is for you.
No, I'm not going to define. This movie should never be viewed by anybody else, publicly, internationally, intergalactically.
But I
if
thought-
aliens do come to
I thought it
this
was
planet
free
and
domain.
view this movie, then we're all in trouble because they'll end civilization as we know it.
Well, they'll send dragons.
But there are redeeming qualities in the fact that it was fun to talk about, so I'll give it that. The score was the only thing that you could say was done by somebody with any type of, I don't know, experience with cinema. So, yeah, there's that. There's that. Don't go see it. Don't go watch it with friends. Don't watch it alone. If you do watch it alone, keep that 1-800 number handy,
Which 1-800 number?
988-2300.
Colin's laughing because he gets it. Yeah.
Damn it. That's free advertising for Empire.
Take that, Empire.
Wow.
Hey, hometown, Chicago.
I have to
Empire.
bleep that out.
Maybe we'll
Is
get
that a
it.
Chicago thing? Because I feel like I've seen that commercial here.
It is, but it started there. So
Wow.
when I was a kid, it was just
That's
like it was the basic part of the number, and now
I
they've
see.
added the 988.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, it was like 2-300 Empire.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
If I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now, do you know who I should call?
You call JD
1-877.
motherfucker. You call that motherfucker.
Well, I just want you guys to remember that my name is Jake, and I'm a hip hopper.
Oh, man.
These blue blockers.
Oh, man.
Again, we're an ad free.
Jeremy, next time I see you, I hope you're wearing blue blockers. Let's both wear some. Or next time you're in town, the whole family, you, me, blue blockers.
Yeah.
We'll make the news.
Damn.
The only advertisements we accept are questionable TV products.
Right. From the 1990s.
Yeah, and even though we're giving like Empire Carpet like free advertising, hopefully they'll send us some samples. That'd be great. Nothing says good time like some carpet samples, like a book of carpet samples.
Yeah.
I'm not enough to actually do anything with. Just enough to touch.
And you could use it as a pillow at night. Open up to your favorite page.
Yeah.
Colin, just open up the book of samples and just rub your face across carpet samples all day.
You become the carpet samples. Colin, what did you think of Star Night 1985, Harvey Keitel's stardom?
I kind of think one of the main things to keep in mind is that this isn't a Hollywood film. This was this is probably the reason that Spain isn't a major producer of films. It was done in Spain, and the budget kind of reflects that. I kind of liked it. I liked watching with all. I mean, I was several in when I showed up tonight, so with that in mind, it was pretty fun.
You knew what you were getting into, is what you were saying.
Yeah.
I
had no idea what I was getting into, but I knew sure as shit to prepare for it.
You did right.
Did you overall like it?
Yeah. I mean, kind of like Mike said, like the premise was actually not bad. It was just, it just didn't really pan out. But there was enough going on that made it fun. It was, Harvey Keitel. Everyone was kind of being like a clown. You guys didn't really like the Green Knight. I kind of liked the Green Knight.
The Green Knight was one of my favorite parts. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
no.
That's fine that like Jeremy says no. Like, I understand. Like, the Green Knight is like a depart from like the vibe of this film.
It's like finding a popcorn kernel in a pile of shit. Like, yeah, we could eat this.
Well, I would kind of use like a different analogy. It's like I was eating garbage food, and then for one moment, someone's like, "Here's a treat." Like, I wish the movie.
Here's a treat.
Well, I was like, I wish the movie was
It's
more.
the greenie weenie.
I wish the movie was more like the Green Knight and this vibe, and was more like cheeky and kind of into this, because like the seriousness drive that we see in this is like very different from the Green Knight.
Yeah, not to like go too far into the Green Knight thing, but just the notion of like a colored knight is like, big into like Arthurian lore and stuff like that. So just kind of an homage to like actually knighty kind of things in this dumbass fucking movie. It's kind of fun.
I feel like they found the Green Knight's armor in like a lost closet of Wizard of Oz shit.
Yeah.
In
like
Mega Man, you
maybe.
shoot leaves.
In Mega Man,
What?
what?
I said in Mega Man, you shoot leaves.
That's true. That's very true.
That's where we're at with this movie now. Lamar, what did you think of Star Night 1985?
The movie's terrible. I hated it all the way through.
Lamar, I'm gonna open up to my first comment
There
of this
you
movie,
go.
and this is a shout out to just what you said. I don't mean to interrupt you, and I just wrote.
Oh no, you interject.
I wrote lighting. El Terrible. It is the first comment I wrote. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, Paul, you're right. It felt like maybe 80% of this movie was like that black light they use to like scan hotel rooms for spur.
The UV black light.
And
It's UV light.
what that black light found in hotel rooms is this movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna quote The Office. Michael Scott sees the UV light. Dwight's showing it in a hotel room. He's like, "What is all that white?" And Dwight goes, "Well, it's either blood, urine, or semen." And Michael Scott goes, "Oh God, please be urine or blood." like immediately, just don't be semen. Yes, I understand. I understand your analogy.
This movie is that semen that they found in that hotel room. As a lover of terrible B movies, I can't hate the movie because I feel like it's right up the alley of what MST3K would riff. I don't know why they haven't discovered this movie or how. Maybe it's like a copyright issue, something like that.
It's free domain.
Hey, oh shit, they can get at it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still
They
doing
should
seasons
do
of
this.
that.
But remember, we fucking did it first.
That's true.
They became
That's very true.
They became riff tracks.
That's very true. Maybe this movie has been covered Is this a cult classic? Has anyone heard of
No,
this movie
no,
before?
this is not. No, I don't even need to do. This is not a cult classic for anyone. No,
Even as a bad, like, let's
No,
watch a
no,
bad movie.
no.
Let's go get
no
that.
one has referenced this in the history of anything.
This movie has a weird way of making you zone out, and I don't know if I can explain that.
I totally understand.
Thank you.
That's you
It's
slipping into the afterlife.
It has a way of this.
It's like the Frighteners. I felt my body go for a second.
It has a weird way of distracting you away from what it's trying to do or the story that it's telling, and I don't know why. I think it's part of the some of the lighting, some of the sound. I think the combination of it is just like an ambient movie that you have in the background that just kind of hypnotizes you. It's bad in that way. You have to watch this movie drunk if you choose to go into it, and preferably with people around you for support, not just for entertainment. I mean,
Not for support.
and for
Lamar
I
wrapped
told
Mike
you this film's spiritually weakened me.
it's spirited.
halfway through this film. Lamar wrapped Mike in an emergency blanket.
So this movie has physically and spiritually damaged people in this room. It's just that bad. I'm sorry.
Mike, what are you thinking?
So I'll get this out of the way. This is easily the worst movie we've ever watched.
We got
Even
some
worse than
movies up there.
Spookies.
I like Spookies.
Yeah, this is worse
I
than
overall like
Spookies.
Spookies.
Somehow this is worse than Spookies. This was also probably the most enjoyable Rabbit Troop Sucks experience that I've had in the past year. I absolutely love watching this movie. I'm never going to watch it again, but this was a lot of fun for me. I'd rather watch a movie like this and talk about it than watch a movie that I know I already like and have like a meaningful discussion about it. This is way more satisfying for me. I think the premise is kind of fun. Like, there's an alien spaceship. Like, these simpleton medieval people don't know how to deal with it, and they interpret it in their own way. Like, there's something that could be done there. This movie didn't do that, but there's something that could be done there. Harvey Keitel's acting is like fucking bananas bad somehow.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's acting is really bad. Like, there's no really real redeemable qualities to this movie, but I fucking loved it. I had a great time. For every bit of like anger that Jeremy and Lamar have towards this movie, I had joy.
You like the experience of watching it.
I like the experience of watching the movie. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, beyond the experience, like, Mike, is there something you could pinpoint? I'm not even joking. Like,
Yeah.
is there something you could pinpoint? Like, what would be like your most enjoyable parts of this film?
I like the goat flying off at the beginning. That was fun for me.
That set the kind of like tempo of what we're going to get into with the movie.
I liked what were clearly not meant to be actual takes, but like when Lamar started talking about this, when Harvey Keitel's like trying to like get into the dragon spaceship, there's a point where he just kind of like clotheslines himself on it and falls over, and I 100% guarantee that was not scripted, but they're like, you know what, fuck it. It's funny, leave it in.
And he's beating on the outside with this morning star.
Right, like that's going to fucking do anything. Yeah. Everything that Harvey Keitel said, like that 3-minute monologue before he tries to get into the ship, where he's like, and
he's
Jesus,
drunk.
Mary. Oh my God.
You coward, come on out here.
Yeah,
Like,
it was so good. That fucking armor that they make him with that has like a butthole for a face
And wings.
and gills. Like, what the fuck was this?
The armor smith
It
that was like
reminded-
slightly too into
Yes.
Harvey
Oh,
Keitel
he was in.
super
Yeah,
awesome.
the armor smith was like Jeremy Piven's character from Rush Hour 2. Like, he was super freaking into Harvey Keitel
Yeah,
in
he
this
wanted
goddamn
to
armor.
own Keitel, dude.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God.
There was enough to be into this. Yeah.
There was, yeah. The Green Knight was kind of fun. Also, have you guys seen the movie The Green Knight?
I've not.
No.
Yeah, this is a movie I've actually wanted to watch.
It's
for a
actually it's kind of become a Christmas tradition at our house. 'Cause
Interesting.
It's kind of
Really?
a Christmassy movie. Watch
while. I know
The
it's like
Green
a
Knight.
very like
Interesting.
kind of like esoteric and very indie. I've read like very like almost polarizing reviews, but like the polarization of that movie is kind of what sells it. Like it just seems like a more intense movie. I'm glad you're saying that, Mike, because I've wanted to like
watch
sit
the
down and
Green watch
it.
the Green Knight. I don't want to derail this, but watch the Green Knight. But yeah, the Green Knight character was like, to your point, very very like Monty Python.
I
like
couldn't,
that.
I couldn't separate, like, they were trying so hard for that kind of humor whenever I saw The Green Knight. I couldn't separate it.
I just liked it. Like, I like that he's like oddly like, I mean this in like a very, I mean it's clearly like Terry Gilliam, like Monty Python ripoff. Like he's sweet on the princess, but not like in a like an overt like creepy way. It's like I'll do anything for the princess, but not really my job because I'm not good at it. So it's kind of like fun, but yeah.
Yeah. I had a blast with this.
I'm glad Mike liked this.
So am I.
I also like talking about this. I told Mike that there's a upcoming film, not next week, we'll talk about that in a moment, but an upcoming film I'm a little more nervous about. And I told him it wasn't this one. I was like, no matter what, we have plenty to talk about with this film. I'm going to say this because I'm coming with a biased attitude, and we'll talk about this maybe later. Me, Lamar, and Mike watched a movie last night that I'll talk about with you guys off air that I also felt was a strange movie, but regardless, my walk away with the movie we watched last night was, I'm glad there was like an original script, like at least the story. How about this? The movie we watched last night was infinitely better for a lot of reasons, but I love that there was like this original script, and at least people are doing something original, and I am going to give it to Star Knight on that. Like, is this movie good? Oh my God, no. But I totally agree with Mike. Is there a story that at least is original and there's something to be said about this? There is. And that might just get you in the door. Harvey Keitel's acting is, I mean...
He phones it in.
Yeah, Jeremy was like, is this his first movie? That's why I looked this up. I was like, if this is like 1 through 3 of his first movies, that makes sense. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's been like 15 other things that led to this. I can't believe Harvey Keitel ever did anything after this, honestly. But
pre-internet, man, they didn't
Yeah,
have this.
Yeah.
In
no one
America.
could find it.
well, it's free domain. Everyone had it apparently. So it was. This is like Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol for everyone. Like the most published thing on earth.
I like how this movie it's public domain, so like YouTube could have this. Netflix, if they wanted to show it, they could do it.
They thought it was public domain. Like, so I don't think it is.
But I mean, Plex was the only place I could find this.
Well, no one else, even YouTube was like, you know what, we're good. It's fine.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube.
We've got
We don't want to take up any more server space than we have.
we got running out of room, guys. Too bad.
We've got other films you might be interested in.
Yeah.
You could pay for those. Yeah, should this movie be watched?
Yeah.
I would say this. If you're like into films and stuff, totally. Like if you're just like not someone who likes films and you watch a few films a year, oh my God, don't. But if you're like us and you probably found our podcast for these reasons, yeah, you should probably totally watch this at least once to see how strange and weird this movie
Sure,
is.
but like have some beer and grab the homies. Because I mean, I feel like Jeremy would have enjoyed this a lot more if he was in the room
I
with us
would.
earlier.
Like if I were in the room with you guys. Yeah.
Him like
No, and I
rage
watched
watching this by
Stone
himself.
Cold Sober this morning.
Right.
So,
Jeremy woke
as
up.
we're getting angry texts about it.
Yeah, Jeremy woke up. He's like, my kids are already grounded. They'll learn about it tomorrow. Yeah, like as guest and friend of the show, Rami always asks, should I watch this by myself? Or I mean,
Rami, don't watch it by yourself.
yeah, he's going to, but like he too would have enjoyed this much more. Like this is definitely a group watch. But is this a great movie? No. Is there something to be said about watching this? Sure. Definitely one of the lower rung films. If Mike
this is the worst film we've
well,
ever
if Mike is ever curious, like as I've noted, like Crime Wave has always been my like lowest, but I've always noted this. Crime Wave for me, one of the big reasons and fails is it's like ultimately just a disappointment. Like because of the people in there, because of the people writing it, like you're just like, oh my God, like I expected better. For this, I did not expect better. Actually, this movie is in some ways a little better than I thought, especially because before I watched it, I got about an hour of text of Jeremy telling me that this is going to be awful. And I don't disagree with Jeremy, but for me, Crime Wave still is only worse because of the disappointment factor, but this is definitely near there.
I mean, Crime Wave is the quality is better. The acting is better. Like, from a pure filmmaking perspective, this is the worst movie we've done for this
I mean,
podcast.
Crime Wave, I always just think like we should have walked away and being like, wow, this is like really a gem that we should be talking about for years. And so I'm like, God,
No,
this is
there's a reason why no one's seen Crime Wave.
Yeah, remember, I think it's like, Bruce Campbell noted like this movie wasn't released, it escaped. I think that was like the actual quote.
So sometimes my wife will walk into the room and ask me questions while I'm watching these movies and like taking notes and whatnot.
Like, where's our tax? Where's our tax? Get the hell out of here!
And so, like, in this movie, she walks in, she's like, and sometimes she'll stand and like look at the movie for a while and like watch it.
She did
maybe for like a minute, a two. This one, she stood there for like 3 seconds and she goes, "Jesus Christ, really?"
She's like the priest. She's Jesus Christ. This movie is like a crazy mixed bag. Definitely one of the stranger films we watched that has ever been released or escaped. But next week we're gonna do another 1985 film. We'll to balance this out a little bit. We're gonna watch The Last Dragon, 1985. And please do yourself a favor, if you have not seen this film, go watch it before you listen to our podcast. This one has definitely a cult status, but I do still feel this is a often overlooked film, definitely not talked about. I look forward to watching this. I know Collin hasn't seen this, and unfortunately Jeremy won't be here next week, but Jeremy will be here for the week after for that movie I said I'm a little afraid of. Any final thoughts about Star Night 1985?
No.
Mike's just saying.
I'm done with it.
There's something that
I will never watch this movie ever again.
No one should.
Jeremy's watching it right now.
There's something to be said.
If by some chance I'm in a room where this is being watched and there's no like egress point,
He'll burn the place.
then I'll self-immolate.
You're gonna go to bed tonight and your wife's gonna be watching it.
Yeah, she's into it.
watch
Kids
it.
love
I
it.
was intrigued, Lover.
Oh God, that'll ruin it.
It's intriguing, lover.
There's something to be said about the country of origin with that movie. We're talking about 1985 films a lot. I mean, American films, 1985. You can't kind of go wrong. They're all bangers. But you go outside of America, and 85 is just not as cheery, and it didn't favor Spain and this
What's the opposite
director
of a
quite
banger?
well.
A hanger?
Yeah, this was a hanger.
Real hanger.
Star Night was a real hanger on this one, guys.
Yeah, Spain, they were watching us from over the ocean like, man, they're coming out with some great movies. They're eating paella or whatever. And then they came up with this shit. And,
Yeah.
Really caused some international ripples in the relations.
I don't think we have any Spanish listeners.
See.
Well, it's kind of unfair because 85 was our power year, and we're comparing it to their 85,
We'll be back with next week with The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
which is
Another
totally,
movie with no dragons
totally
in it.
opposite.
All the dragons.
Maybe the last one even.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, as always, Rabbit Troop
It
sucks.
does.
You dastardly poltroons.
Jesus Christ.